Okay, so here I'm going to give you some extra inference practice because I noticed a lot of you guys struggled with it on last week's assignment. So since I'm asking you to infer again, I want to make sure you know what to do and how to do it. With every inference question, there are going to be three parts. It says that, I know that, and I can infer. So first we're going to look at the passage, and then we're going to break down how I filled out each of these three answers. The young woman walked a bit hesitantly towards the famous cozy Italian restaurant. She did not believe the excuse her parents gave her for having to meet her at the restaurant instead of at their house. To make matters worse, she was a bit grumpy because she was still catching up on the sleep she had lost during exam time. She noticed some cars that looked familiar in the parking lot. As soon as she walked through the door, she heard, "Surprise!" Okay, so first, in order to make the inference, I need to clue in on part of the story or the passage that helps me figure something out that the author is not actually saying, but the author is hinting at. So it says that she did not believe the excuse. It also says that she noticed some cars that looked familiar in the parking lot. And as soon as she walked through the door, she heard surprise. So those are the three parts that really clued me into what's really going on here. I connected that to my background knowledge, my schema. So this is what I know in my own experience, not what I know about the story. So I know that with surprise parties, you have to have an excuse to get the person who it's in honor of, like the birthday girl, you have to get her there with an excuse so that she's still surprised. Just to make up a story, just a lie. I know that if I'm throwing a party, people are going to be there that I know or that the birthday girl knows. So they have friends there. And at a birthday party or a surprise party, I should say, we yell surprise to kind of be like, hey, this is all for you. That lie was just a lie. We're having a party in your honor. So I can infer based on the quotes and based on what I know about surprise parties that her parents are throwing her a surprise party. Nowhere in here does it say surprise party. But based on the clues, I can figure that out. Let's look at our next example. This is a passage from Harry Potter, the Chamber of Secrets, I believe. Countless times, Harry had been on the point of unlocking Hedwig's cage by magic and sending her to Ron and Hermione with a letter, but it wasn't worth the risk. Underage wizards weren't allowed to use the magic outside school. Harry hadn't told the Dursleys this. He knew it was only their terror that he might turn them all into dung beetles that had stopped them locking him in the cupboard under the stairs with his wand and broomstick. For the first couple of weeks back, Harry had enjoyed muttering nonsense words under his breath and watching Dudley tearing out of the room as fast as his fat legs could carry him. Okay, so I need to make an inference in this passage. It's not going to be about the whole passage, just part of it. So I'm going to narrow in on what I'm figuring out using my schema. And this is something, again, readers do naturally, so you're going to have to slow down your thinking a little bit to break it down for me. I noticed it said that underage wizards weren't allowed to use magic, and that it says Harry hadn't told the Dursleys this. Now I need to connect my background schema to that. So I know that in a group or community, like the wizarding community or like America, the people in that community kind of like, you already know the rules because you're part of the community and you live with those rules all the time. So I know that if I say a bad word, my mom will wash my mouth out with soap. I know that in America, you're not allowed to drink alcohol if you're under 21. That's like the law. Everybody knows it. So I'm connecting that people in a group or community know the rules to the fact that underage wizards weren't allowed to use magic, and Harry hadn't told the Dursleys this. If the Dursleys need to be told this rule, that means they don't already know it. Therefore, the Dursleys are not part of the wizarding community. They're not wizards. So this is, if I had never read Harry Potter before or seen the movies, I could figure out that they were not wizards based just on this passage. Final one, I'm not going to have time to get to, but it's a multiple choice question if you want to look at it. The correct answer, it's a multiple choice inference question. So the correct answer here would be C. And if you want more information about why the answer for this is C, ask me in your check-in questions and I will answer it on Wednesday.